Latest purchase from eBay. It's a Sharp VZ-2500. It's not in the best of nick. It's 1982 and has seen a bit of a rough life. There's a bit of wear in the silver paint on the main parts that get used, volume control and the rest of it. It was being sold cheap as spares and repairs because the original owner, which I believe is a Gen Z, said it sounded muffled, and he actually even put a picture on there, which I'll show you now, of the needles. So I just thought, well, that just needs cleaning. So obviously got it home, give it a clean, but it all seems to be working fine.
Me up on the way in here today.
Yeah, and then when you got in the
FM radio works okay. Switch to phono. I've got a record in there from now 10. It goes back a few years. Press play on that. Bring a bit of volume into it. There's a little bit of Barcelona, Freddie Mercury. Treble. The bass boost worked fine as well. There's a knob missing on the mic volume, the balance, and over here on the tape select. But everything else seems to be in place, so I'm going to 3D print some parts of it. Oh, when the tape reset's not working correctly, the button's broke, so I'm going to 3D print some new volume controls. But as you can hear, that's working fine. Now the only issue I have found is with the tape deck. Eject that, and we drop a tape in. Press play. Let's play. He's playing tape's fine. If I press stop, fast forward's tape's fine, no problem at all. Stop that. It's the rewind's not working. It's intermittent, and I have seen a video on YouTube. It's quite an old video now that sort of shows that it's possibly a broken cog that's not engaging correctly, but well, I think it might be more the belts. I'm not sure. I really don't know until I open it up. This video really is going to be in a couple of parts. The main was the introduction to the unit. I'll show you the back in a minute, but I've got a few dents in the grill here. I want to get these grills off to clean the inside the speakers and check them, make sure the cones are okay on both sides. I've got to replace this mic and this balance volume knobs, and also the tape, which I've said before. I'm not going to do too much other than clean it up. It's inherited its age. I mean, it's got a nice patina now from 1982. I would like to get these dents out the side of here. That's not particularly pretty, and there's just a lot of dust inside there, so I do want to get in there and have a quick look inside. I might look at changing the belts on the actual record player, the vinyl player, but it's sounding okay at the moment, so I don't want to spend too much money on it because I got it quite cheap, and although I'm excited about having it now, it's probably just going to sit around for a lot of its life now doing nothing. So I'll have to have a look at this door issue, whether that's supposed to automatically come down or not. I don't know. I'll have to watch some other videos what other people have done. But this main video is going to be how to dismantle it and get to the gubbins of the front end. Effectively, you take the front off. You don't need to take this mechanism out. You don't need to take the tape mechanism out. I think all you need to do is, once you've released all the screws, is press the eject button and it should then lift out. So without further ado, I'll show you the back of the unit. On the back of the unit, we've got a beat cancel button. Not sure what that's for at the moment. Use auxiliary in, and this switch here is for internal and external antennas. The only other thing left really is there's a voltage selection switch there for whichever voltage rating you're at. We're at 240 volts. This model is the VZ-2500E, and obviously then we've got the battery compartment, which doesn't look too bad actually. So there's no corrosion on any of the terminals, so that just needs a clean up. And again with the back, really it just needs really a clean. I'm not sure if this is paint, whether I can remove it or whether it's scratched through the original colouring of the plastic. Until I get a bit further into it I won't know, but But effectively to remove the front, there's 13 screws I think in total, and there's a little arrow pointing to which screws you need to remove. So there, and there. I'll just show you that in a bit more detail. So as you can see, there's tiny little arrows pointing to which screws to remove, so we can take the front cover off. Dismantle. First thing to do is to remove the control knobs. Now if you've got all 5, that's fair enough. And there's also another one on the opposite side, which is for the tape select. What I've done is I've basically got a pair of pliers and just put some tape around them, so I'll just basically gently grip them, and they do come off quite easy with it like this. Couldn't pull them off with my fingers, just can't get a grip. It's a little bit tighter, so it's come off as well. And so I've only got the 3, so I'm going to have to 3D print some of those. Next job is now removing the screws. Removing the screws from the rear of the unit. Need a Phillips screwdriver with a long shaft. What I generally do, I put a small magnet on it, just give it a little rub and magnetise it. So when we start unscrewing the screws, they'll come out of the case, because they are quite deep in. So yeah, Jill, let's follow the arrows and we'll do what it says to do. And there's one of your first screws. As you see, they're quite large. Let's follow it across. Just have a quick look under the battery compartment, make sure there's nothing in there. I believe these holes here would have had the transportation screws in, which obviously they're not there now, so that's good. Oh, that screw's already missing. And that one. Oh, so somebody's actually been in this thing. So we've got 2 screws missing. I was hoping nobody had ever been inside this. So we've got 2 screws. There's 13 screws in total. Also, there should have been 9 from the back. So now let's move to the front. So we swapped over to the front. We've got to remove the screw from here, from there, and I believe just this small screw here. And maybe that one, I'm not sure. So I need to remove this screw. No, that one's not coming out. This screw. Now you can take this Perspex clear cover, dust cover off if you want. It's just 4 screws and remove it. I'm not going to do that just yet. There seems to be 2 screws here. I'll try taking those out and see if those are the last ones I need to take out. Now it should be ready to pop up. Now the first thing it says to do, and it recommends that you do, is press the eject button on the cassette deck, and we should now to be able to lift this off. So here's hoping. Let's see what happens. We've got all the screws out. This top edge, here, there is a small clip which you do need to sort of lift this panel to clip off. Just to check that again. Hopefully it should now just lift away forward. So let's try that. And it's out. I think it's probably better if we actually now lay this on its back, and then I can see if there's any connections that need to be there's probably some connections on the switches here that need to be disconnected first. Can't see nothing on the tape deck. Can't see nothing on that side, so I'm going to lay it on its back and just have a look for some connections that may need removing. Okay, we just a little bit more gentle pulling, and it did come apart. So there does seem to be, there's no connections on the back of this. There's nothing, no wires to pull off. How the well, there must have been. How did the speakers get to it? Ah, I can see. Okay, I can see how the speakers were connected. It's just a push on terminal here. So when we pulled the front away, that came away with it. So that's nice. It's nice design. We'll just have a quick scan around in case anybody needs to have a look how things are set up and wired. The cassette mechanism, the belts, speaker grills, battery compartment down there with all the dust on it. That's what I want to give it a good clean, really, to be honest. It's very yellowed. It's obviously come from somebody that probably smoked, or it's just from time. Let's just lift it onto its front so we can have a look at the belts on the radio. So you can see how there's a word. Gives me the option to clean this up. And a quick look inside on the electronics. Hopefully that might help somebody if you're working on one of these and need to see where anything is. Oh, those heads look terrible. Yeah, I think they might need replacing at some point. And we can now see also why this is slipping. I mean, these belts look terrible. Well, that'll be a job for another day when I've ordered them. But again, I'll just presume these two controls here are for setting your 33 and your 45 speed. It's only a guess, but I'm presuming. I'll have to have a look in the service manual. But yeah, I think other than a good clean now, we should be able to get this looking and working properly now. Just a quick look inside there, just really needs to see the mechanism. Sorry, this is a bit boring, but sometimes it helps to know what things look like before you tackle the job. Let's have a quick look on the inside. Speakers are 6.3 watt, 3 ohm, 16 centimeter, and there's a small tweeter down there which is a 5 centimeter. Doesn't give an ohm reading on that. Basically, I can remove the speakers. I'll give those a clean, and to get the metal grills off, I need to fold up these metal tabs down there. I don't know if you can see that. Zoom in. So there's metal tabs all the way around, and I should then be able to remove the grill off the front. The cassette mechanism, that just needs a clean, I think. Maybe a new bit of foam in the spring just to, although it does seem to be working okay, so I don't want to mess around too much. These your control buttons, your stop play on the cassette, everything else does seem okay. And again, we'll move to the other side for the other speaker. And the only difference with this side is you've got this connection for the, which plugs into the main amplifier of the back section. We've removed the speakers. You can see the amount of dust on them, but they're from 1982. They're in remarkably good condition. They haven't delaminated. The tweeters seem fine as well. But, I mean, you think they're dusty? I mean, look at the dust inside there. I mean, you can literally scrape that out with your finger. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get the grills off and give this a really good clean. It's the same on this side as well. It won't make it play any better, but it'll certainly look a lot better, that's for sure. So that's the next job now, is basically just get the grills off. Don't try and pull the grills off whatever you do, you know, from the front, because they are folded over and bent on the back here. I'm going to have a look at that quite carefully before us and just see how one of them comes off. But if I can't get them off, then I will leave it. But I think it's this side here. This side here has just got a slight dent in it. I'd just like to push that dent back out, but it'll also give me access to inside the chamber as well, and I can give you everything a bit much better clean. It is quite grubby, to be honest. It's going to take me quite a bit of time to clean this up, I think. The speaker grill removal, there's these tabs which you need to fold up straight, which isn't a problem. But on this side with the speaker connection, it has actually been soldered to the one tab, so it's bonded the grill on this side. There's nothing on this side, so whether that's on purpose or not, I don't know. But I've lifted all the tabs. There's some at the top there as well you need to lift. The easiest way then to get this out is to gently push on it with your fingers, and you'll just slightly feel it pushing forward, so just work your way around gently. and you should be able to then pull it out. I've bent all the tabs, so they're all bent up now, and it's really just a question of really putting your fingers behind the back of this and just gently push it, and if you feel a little bit of resistance, just get the screwdriver and push it back under it again, and just slowly work your way around, and it will a little bit of come off. And there's your grill with the tabs on the back, so if you can't see that too well. I have given this a little bit of a clean. I've just blown some of the dust out of it. I've took that one off already. This one I did loosen, take off, give it a clean, and I'll just put it back on just so I can show you to removing it. But as you can see, these tabs, they just need straightening. So once you've got it off, straighten them up again, and you will push back in nice and easy there. And you will need a soldering iron for one of them. But yeah, I can get now into a little bit more cleaning. I'm going to look at also on these switches here. These push button switches are quite easy to come out. You just squeeze it at the top and they lift off. There's just a tab on them, so I can take those out and clean those. These switches do need cleaning up here. They are very, very sticky. But I think I'm going to have to take this strip off along here, and it has been, otherwise looks like hot melted, so I'm going to have to cut that off, take this off, and then these should lift out. Hopefully they should lift out then. This switch, no problem at all, it's just spring loaded. Did need the soldering iron down here, as I said, I just used a basic soldering iron for that. And basically all I've done, I've just got the air blower out, and I've just given it a quick blow over, just to blow the cobwebs off it. And there's the switch that I was looking for. It actually fell out, so I need to put that back in after I've repaired it, or reprint a new one in 3D printer there is. So yeah, there's a lot to do. One of the things I did notice when I took this apart is there's no baffle material in the speaker cavities, and in that speaker cavity I've actually put the headphone jack sockets in there, and also this switch on the bottom, which a lot of people seem to forget about. If that's not pressed, the unit ain't working. When you stand the unit up, that presses, which activates that switch there. I've seen a few people saying that I can't get these to work because they're trying to do it lying down. But yeah, I'm sure there should be some sort of meshy material inside for both cavities. I'm going to have a look at the spec on the speakers. I might look at upgrading them, to be honest. I'll have a look at maybe the VZ-2500, see what speakers they use, see if I can pick something up. If not, there's plenty of car audio speakers rated at 3 ohms, which might do the job better, full range speakers, and maybe something slightly better than this little tweeter. I really do need to look at the spec on them and see what they're coming out as. Still need cleaning up. Well, I hope that helped. This video really is just about dismantling it. I couldn't really find anything on the net, and it's an intimidating but an easy job to do, just removing the 13 screws.